Hello everyone, my name is Casey. I hope you're having a good start to your summer. 5 minutes is not a long time, so I'm going to jump right into this presentation on vocation and calling. So like all of you, pulled this article from the website Institute for Faith, Work, and Economics, and the author is James Clark. So the article is called 15 Quotes to Deepen Your Understanding of Vocation. I was really excited when I found this article. Quotes are something that I really enjoy. They help me remember. They're just something that stick in my brain. And so I'm hoping as Clark unpacks this idea of a deeper understanding of vocation, it's helpful to you as well, and as I'm learning too. So there's really 5 categories he talks about in this article to understand vocation in a deeper way. And those 5 points are the university of calling, what we are called to, how God calls us, calling as fulfillment, and the value of all callings. So the first one, the university of calling. So Clark, essentially, he has a compilation of kind of titans in the field who, for many years, have accumulated some good thoughts and quotes on the idea of calling. And so all of these quotes will be from different people, essentially. And I've also pulled in some of our readings and things from class. So the University of Calling is from William Perkins. Every person of every degree, state, sex, or condition, without exception, must have some personal and particular calling to walk in. This idea that if we have a heartbeat for a human being, then we are called. Then we are called to something to give, to walk into in our journey. And I tied this to the idea of Kate Harris's presentation in our first unit. Just the definition of vocation, quite literally one's entire life lived in response to God's voice or call. She talked about this idea of identity and belonging, specifically as Christians, right? That we are called to serve the Lord. And that is as Christians throughout the world, that is our call and vocation. So the second point that James Clark talks about is what we are called to. I pulled right in from Benner this quote: "Love is our identity and our calling for our children of love." And Clark pulls in Thomas Merton. He shares this quote: "All vocations are intended by God to manifest His love to the world." So this idea that we carry, it's our purpose to show love to the world because of what God has done for us, what we're called to. The third one, how God calls us. This is a little bit longer quote, but I really like this idea of being observant and being in the moment. And it's from Horace Bushnell. It says, "Be an observer of providence, for God is showing you ever by the way in which He leads you, whither He means to lead. Study your trials, your talents, the world wants, and stand ready to serve God now in whatever He brings to your hand." I really like this, and to me it also connected to Kate Harris's presentation on vocation, which she talked about being in the present moment, and she shared the verse, "Give us this day our daily bread," obviously from Scripture, but what that looks like, kind of being in the moment and seeing what God is doing in your life. So the fourth that Clark talks about is calling as fulfillment. So we understand vocation in a deeper way, and this quotation is from Dorothy Sayers. It's a little bit longer, but very excellent. This idea of fulfillment. "I think we can measure the distance we have fallen from the idea that work is a vocation to which we are called, by the extent to which we have come to substitute the word employment for work. We say we must solve the problem of unemployment. We reckon on how many hands are employed. Our social statistics are seldom based upon the work itself, whether the right people are doing it or whether the work is worth doing." So this idea that we're just filling jobs, right, as opposed to is the work that we're doing meaningful, fulfilling, and we have purpose in. So this calling that we're fulfilled in our jobs, maybe not completely, right, like we have other areas in our life, but as a whole, our jobs are something that we really care about. All right, time I have to speed up a little bit here. So the fifth one, the value of all callings. This is from Karl Barth's Church Dogmatics. It says that a man's vocation is exhausted in his profession is no more true than that God's calling which comes to him is simply an impulsion to work. He will always live in widely different spheres if he receives the divine calling and is obedient to it. I love that, the value. And so when another from one of our articles in the first unit, which talked about, and that was from I think a Lutheran calling or something like that, which said, with his doctrine of vocation, Luther reminds Christians that all of the callings they have in life are opportunities to serve God and neighbor. And then the last part that I just want to say from the article as well talked about that Christians, their life is therefore lived coram Deo, in God's presence, that what we're doing is that God is with us and He is aware, and He really wants to call us to a deeper understanding of vocation calling. I zoomed through it. I'm over time, and that is my presentation. All right. Have a good day. Bye.